Hello, Professor Palumbo. Thank you for viewing our presentation today. We are sure that you will find it insightful as we have applied our marketing course concepts to solve the marketing issues that we have found. Mandarin Buffet was our choice of organization to audit. Mandarin Restaurant was founded in 1979 as a small a la carte restaurant in Brampton, Ontario. Mandarin Restaurant in Niagara Falls, Ontario offers an all-you-can-eat Chinese and Canadian buffet while dining in a unique setting. The buffet has over 150 items that are prepared daily. According to tripadvisor.ca, Mandarin is the #1 buffet of choice in Niagara Falls. With 959 reviews, Mandarin holds strong at 4.5 stars. This website has a filter menu that includes, in the top left corner, COVID-19 restaurants taking safety measures box. When checked, only 2 of the 13 restaurants remain, and Mandarin is not one of them. The critical event currently affecting the restaurant industry is COVID-19. As the province has gone in and out of lockdown, all businesses, including restaurants, had to shut. When the reopening of restaurants began, changes had to be made to adhere to the COVID-19 guidelines for social distancing and safety. Restaurants were operating at half capacity or less, and buffets were prohibited. The cause of the Mandarin's buffet marketing problem is COVID-19, as respiratory droplets can land on hard surfaces, such as serving spoons and ladles, and it is possible that a customer could contract COVID-19 by touching a shared serving utensil that has the virus on it, and then by touching their mouth or eyes. The Mandarin marketing team needs to create a marketing campaign that will educate their customers about the safety measures they are taking to protect them and the changes they will have in their dining experience. Understanding the customer's needs is a requirement for Mandarin's marketing team in order to assure people that Mandarin is a safe place to bring your family and eat. Safety is a basic need that must be met in order to make the customers feel secure, protected, and comfortable.
So now that we've had a look at that, it's time to move on to Mandarin's situational analysis, starting with the internal analysis. The Mandarin operates under a franchise model where a restaurant is owned by 5 individuals with equal share. Their business model focuses on customer retention, so high quality product and service is a must to keep people coming back. Under the current global situation, Mandarin's traditional model is not effective, so their focus and marketing spending has shifted towards promoting their takeout, delivery, and new small eats option. Since Mandarin's a private company, no revenue data for 2020 or 2021 is available. However, from 2015 to 18, Mandarin maintained a steady yearly income of 153 million. It's safe to assume, however, that in the recent years, 2020 and 2021, this has decreased because they're unable to generate income through their main revenue source. On the next slide, we'll go into Mandarin's strengths and weaknesses. First, the most notable strength of the Mandarin is that its franchise partnership model has allowed it to flourish. It's beneficial because it's a constant stream of revenue without the hassle of managing daily operations in 29 restaurants province-wide. In addition to this, their dominant market position gives them a vantage point over their competition and overall increases their competitive advantage. Next is the experience that Mandarin offers. Very few restaurants are willing to create an experience as memorable and unique as the Mandarin, with everything from the bright pink neon sign outside to extremely friendly servers greeting customers at the door with a bellowing "Welcome to the Mandarin." It's an experience designed to create customer retention by being consistent across the board, no matter which location a customer is dining at. The third strength is managing of position placement. So all of the restaurants are located in urban centers and mimic population distribution, meaning that their restaurants are usually full or close to full around their busiest times, but don't often exceed capacity nor go well under it. In terms of weaknesses, their most significant is that the buffet style is prone to pathogen spread. Although it's clear that under the circumstances of a pandemic, it's problematic, the effects of this will carry over in the return to normalcy as people will be more conscious of bacteria spread. Another problem with the buffet model is the fact that there is likely to be more food waste generated on account of the fact that it is food that is not consumed in its lifestyle cycle of roughly 2 hours goes to waste. Although the franchise model is in part effective, it also creates a detriment. There is significant difficulty to communicate and implement new operational changes that are to be made. Franchise model also creates the risk of differences between the way each restaurant implements the latest changes, which would be counterproductive for their aim of a consistent dining experience, no matter the location.
The external analysis is how businesses and restaurants like the Mandarin assess the changes being made to their industry, along with changes being made in the world that could affect business. As we start to look at the possible opportunities and threats that could affect the Mandarin, we look at a major variable that could hurt business, and that is the new regulations that have been set to ensure the safety of consumers from COVID-19. With the varying restrictions that the provincial government has been setting, it has been difficult to generate revenues. Although we are going into a stay-at-home mandate, indoor dining has completely changed for the Mandarin style of business. Without the ability to continue to operate a self-serve buffet because of the restrictions set in place, the Mandarin has moved to a dim sum type restaurant, as well as creating a much safer environment. Without the buffet style of service, the Mandarin will have a lot more competition since it will not have the advantage of a buffet. Moving on to the consumers, as COVID protocols are still in effect throughout Ontario, the existing consumer base for the Mandarin remains quite limited. The Mandarin is not authentic Chinese food. It is tailored towards Canadians. This major customer segment will not be able to take advantage of the buffet aspect, who is a large part of their customer base. The people who are ordering takeout along with dining in are those who are fans of specific dishes, since that is all that is available. As people are kept away from the buffet experience, they will be more eager to take advantage of it. The potential consumer demographic in the future will continue to be Canadians of all ages who are fond of or now want to try out the buffet style experience that was prevalent before COVID. To gain customer motivation during the pandemic, since the Mandarin's beloved buffet has been removed for the time being, the restaurant has changed their entire venue to reflect more of a dim sum style. Dim sum restaurants offer consumers a large range of small dishes. This allows visitors to dine in and choose what they want to order, which is made fresh. Richard Southern from City News found that these dishes served hot were much better in taste and flavor. While these small dishes range from around $2 to $5, whatever that is not finished can be taken home now. Safety protocols have also been arranged to ensure that customers do not have to worry about anything except what they want to eat. Cutlery has been changed to disposable plastic so each customer gets a fresh new set. There's an employee that cleans the bathroom after every use, and each table is spread apart so customers are 6 feet away. Looking at the competition, with over 29 restaurants across Ontario, the Mandarin has a major market share in the Chinese buffet sector. At the moment, the Mandarin cannot act as a buffet, so it is currently competing with all the restaurants and fast food franchises near their location, as well as competing with all the options on Uber Eats. Even if one were to crave Chinese, there are countless local options to compete against who provide different combos rather than just small dishes. When self-serve buffets can be back in service, there won't be much competition anytime soon for the Mandarin. As long as all the stores stay afloat during the pandemic, then the Mandarin will continue to have this monopoly over the Chinese buffet sector. When we look at the pricing, with such low-cost dishes, the Mandarin is extremely attractive to potential consumers during the pandemic. Their menu of over 70 dishes costs anywhere from $2 to $5. When comparing this to a restaurant like the Iron Chef, who is also a dim sum restaurant, it is actually much cheaper. The Iron Chef consists of dim sum dishes from up to $5 to $10, which is double the price of that of the Mandarin. When we look at advertising, the Mandarin has not been doing much advertising on TV, but their social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, have been keeping their following updated on deals and giveaways all throughout the pandemic. With its large following, its updates on social media reach a much greater audience compared to the social media of any local Chinese restaurant. When we look at the industry as a whole, growing an industry as saturated as the market for Chinese buffets would make it difficult not only to grow, but would make it extremely difficult to enter. In Southern Ontario especially, there is a Mandarin in most cities, along with smaller family-owned restaurants. Due to the situation at hand and how the industry is struggling, entry at the moment is extremely challenging. To open a buffet style restaurant would require owners to adapt to the adversity of not being able to have self-serve buffets as once before. Growing a Chinese buffet business would also be nearly impossible since these restaurants are struggling to make profits at the moment. This leads to the trend that all these restaurants are following, finding an alternative to buffets. For the time being, the Mandarin and other restaurants alike have been finding different ways to provide a service to their customers while following guidelines.
Our task is to come up with an alternative menu or food serving style that will aid in dealing with our problem of safety due to COVID-19. The alternatives will follow safety guidelines set out by public health. For example, the restaurant will operate at 25% capacity. Guests are to be permitted to wear a mask while walking in and out of the restaurant, and they are required to sanitize their hands at the entrance lobby. Also, extra cleaning precautions should take place by Mandarin staff, and proper social distancing should be applied inside the restaurant. So the first alternative is for Mandarin to use paper disposable menus or laminated menus that can be disposed of or easily disinfected after each use. Plastic cutlery could also be used as a safety precaution as people may not feel comfortable using metal cutlery. Also, instead of self-serving, the waiters will bring the food to the customers to promote safety. Our second alternative is for Mandarin to have a menu buffet style. One thing that people like about buffets is that they can see the food they are choosing to eat. Many restaurant menus have only a few pictures of food items. An alternative that can be considered by Mandarin's marketing team is to have a picture style menu of their buffet's items. The menu can be divided into four categories: fresh salad and soup bar, sushi and fish bar, hot items prepared daily, and the dessert bar. Each menu item can be numbered. The guest will write down the item number and quantity of each item for the Mandarin server, and this will limit the social interaction between an outside party and the guest family. Also, this will avoid the use of touchscreen style order menus. Now, our third alternative is to use a tablet for the menu options. With less than the usual 150 buffet options, we can sanitize the tablets after every use to be safe. With a lesser menu option, the restaurant can save money since the pandemic started. Since the pandemic started, people have been having chronophobia and are afraid of public spaces, so fewer people are eating out. Therefore, a reduced menu option is advisable. This way, the restaurant won't have to spend more money on ingredients and chefs to cook all the desired meals. Also, to prevent food waste, customers should only be permitted to order a max 2 meals at a time. This way, if they want to order more after, they can, but food wastage for a buffet is not right and it hurts the restaurant as well. More alternatives to the menu options would be that we should add specialty drinks such as alcoholic beverages like White Claw, red wine, whiskey, beer, and more. Stella, Coors Banquet, Fireball Whiskey, Canadian Club, and more beverages would be added to the menu and only be served to those 19 and over. Market Mandarin as a safe, friendly, buffet-style alternative restaurant could be very appealing to families with young children that find it a burden to get up and down with them and need to lift them up to see all the food for them to make a choice. This approach would be likable to senior members of society as they may have alignments prevent them from moving around easily or find it challenging to get up and down and carry food across the restaurant.
So from other alternatives, we agree that the best alternative that we would recommend is to switch Mandarin's dine-in system. Instead of following the traditional way of letting customers to take food by themselves, Mandarin can allow customers to order food on the tablets and the food will be brought to them. Because of COVID-19, people are experiencing coronaphobia, which we just mentioned before. This is a phobia of public places where people are afraid to go to public places. This can be a big problem for Mandarin because this is restricting people from dining in. And this phobia might still affect people after the pandemic because it is a phobia. Therefore, by using a tablet system to serve customers can make sure that the customers are more comfortable because that they know their food and utensils are safe to use because it's not touched by many people. A strong example is East, a Japanese-style all-you-can-eat buffet restaurant. They serve similar food to Mandarin and they have similar prices. However, when the government allows 50 people to dine in, the restaurant was always full of customers. This is because East is using the tablet system to serve the customers. On the other hand, the tablet systems can also reduce food waste and decreases costs. The traditional buffet systems require the food to be displayed for the customers in a nice way. Therefore, buffets tend to waste too much food because they need to constantly change the displaying food. The food that has been taken down usually ends up in the garbage. This is both unnecessarily wasting money and also environmentally unfriendly. Therefore, by switching to a tablet, no food is needed to be displayed, and the chefs are only making food that are ordered by the customers. Therefore, in conclusion, Mandarin, the buffet restaurant, is currently facing big challenges because of the current COVID-19 pandemic situation. Public health has advised restaurants to limit their use of shared items. Therefore, Mandarin is in need of immediate change of plan. My teammates and I would recommend Mandarin to change their systems to a tablet system. By ordering all the food on the table, the food doesn't need to be displayed, and the only people that will get in contact with the food are only the chefs and the servers. Therefore, it is safer. Also, a large amount of food waste is happening when displaying the food. Therefore, using a tablet to order can also decrease the cost of food for Mandarin, which can increase the company's profits. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and this is the end of the presentation.